Aloha, ladies and gentlemen. JohnRemus.com TV. Broadcasting live from Diamond Head. Check this out. We got big ocean over here. Big ocean. And I want to suggest 10 things right now. A response to, say, feminist concerns, people's concerns in general about prostitution and about the way men treat women and vice versa. So number one, being aware that it is in fact vice versa. The idea that it's all men's fault, what that does is it puts all the power and responsibility in the hands of the men. It says that until they do something or change their approach to relationships and so on, and connecting with people, and that it's going to be difficult for women. But guess what? Number two, that women can actually take things into their own hands, I believe. And this is something that you can only do things when you're in a position to do things. You can only talk formally and respectfully and dress nicely when you're in a right place to do it, where you won't offend people. And you can feel, you can feel that you'll be well received. And so, in the same sense, what women can do is, when they have a chance to or a choice, say that, you know what, I'm gonna not only respect myself, but I'm gonna respect men. And number three is the way to do that is to say that, you know what, men giving a woman money is just as animalistic or antisocial as women giving men their body. And it's, you can't respect someone if you're seducing them with either money or your body. It's all about money and power and sexual gratification. It's not about a higher level of seeing people as equals, of that we're all, unity consciousness. And however, all that considered, and of course number four, that it's all adults involved, all consenting adults. That's a whole different classification than the actual people who are concubines or sex slaves. And number five is the flipping around to the reality of it being adults, okay? And it's not, I used to think that, I should judge people for maybe someone's marrying for their money or their body, or this person's half this other person's age. Guess what? It's something that it's adults. And unless you can provide, you can say, I have a better opportunity for you, better income, or it's adults engaging in what they will. So that's why I think, for example, that prostitution should be legal. How dare anyone say that adults can't do something that they're both consenting to do? It's not, it's people's personal lives. And number six is the approach to, okay, so what even all that considered, what's like an actual solution? What would convince people, if you will, to treat each other with some more respect and not want to engage in these types of relations? It's what it is it's having respect for yourself and others, more specifically for your own dreams, and the idea of the dream mate or a life partnership. If someone's half a person's age or not as healthy as another, then they can't have a whole life together. It's all going to be about power and money and people might think that that's better, but that's actually every single day you're thinking about that power dynamic, and it actually, no matter what the other person has, if they're not even people who are similar health, if they're not dream mates, if they're not, oh, let's, we both like so much together, let's live together, let's achieve things together. If they're not like that, then it's prostitution, all the like, under the guise of marriage. But what is marriage even? That's another issue. Number 7 is that the idea of marriage, of it being some type of a ceremony, it's an illegitimate concept, because it's more sacred to engage in verbal and physical intimacy than marriage. So in reality, verbal and physical intimacy is how you truly express that level of commitment to each other, not just by going on an altar and saying, we love you, and then there's a singular kiss. No, it's like the idea of sex before marriage. Throw that out the window, because the very concept of marriage is more of a legal thing, or ceremonial for the sake of others. It's not really the reality of two people and what they mean to each other, and of course it's a fun thing, but it's just an external showing. It's not, what about individuals, and like for the men and women involved in prostitution and whatnot, the truth is that, why would you give someone money or your body or your energy? Why would you waste your time in that person when it's not your when you're putting at stake your dreams? And number 8 is that the very idea of naming yourself like a feminist or other terms like that, it's kind of hints at that you may not like or respect men in general, and I'm gonna admit that and often, whether it's this or politics, it's more important to deal with facts than opinions. Facts such as, say, if you did a study, you'd probably, if you walked to every prostitute or every walks the streets perhaps in your city that you're near, or you went to a poor country where the women all have on internet profiles where they try to attract richer men from other countries. Guess what? All these people involved, they're all doing it because they want to. So if you were to do like a study, they'd probably say that they and it might even, some people might even say that they're doing it because they need to, but to support, say, their poor family, but whatever it is, it's a voluntary act. And how do you stop say, number 9 is the darker side of it. How do you stop, say, child or other types of imprisonment? And the reality is, whether it's a child that's under sex trade, or it's, one solution might be, people shouldn't have as many children if they can't afford to give them a safe and quality upbringing, it's a good education. But the other reality is, whether it's a child in sex slavery or just a child to irresponsible parents, the only way you're actually in position to help the child is if you are going to either adopt them or monetarily help them, and so don't feel too badly. Just focus your energy and your concern and your emotional, your momentum. Focus that on things you can change and improve. And it starts with yourself and the local level, and gradually enters into the global. And in conclusion, that number 10 is the simple fact that sexual crime is the number 1 crime in the world, and it all has to do with people who don't respect each other. For example, a man wouldn't rape a woman if he cared about or respected her, or thought she was his daughter or family or whatever. So that concept, we can extend it to the idea that people finding more common ground and commonality, and of course, with equal rights and opportunities being given, and the realization that whether you're a man or a woman, you don't want your relationship to be about money or physicality. Of course, you want to have that for practical reasons. But 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 like for example, a man in a country where women aren't given opportunities to work, why would you want to be with a woman who is not competent, is not educated, can't look out for you in times of danger? What if you're in a wheelchair, and wouldn't you want her to be able to work? And why would you want to be with someone who's just simple and has no soul and no capacity and intelligence and competence? So this is kind of a progression into it's a paradigm shift. It's a big thing, but in part it has to do with education, but also being responsible and not and in effect the good people learning how to work together first, and for people to say things like, oh, I'm a feminist and all men should stop doing this. I agree that men should stop doing this, but if you just try to say imprison them or whatever, it can have some positive effect, but to have long-term effects, you have to empower the woman with intelligence and financial backing and security, and you also have to show the men that their dream mate and a true connection, and not wasting your energy casually on all these people who don't truly love you and don't respect you. That's the actual answer to the root cause. Of course, in conclusion, also they bring into a conscious level of, people that don't like their parents. You don't, as adults, we don't need the people to play the role of parent in our lives. It's actually very detrimental to the psychology. It makes you get angry at men or women if you're naming someone the role of parent or authority in your life. Even if they're friendly people, you want to be your own authority. You want to have your own power over yourself and not program yourself to be subconsciously you're programming yourself to be submissive if you call yourself a child, even nephew or whatever, etc. I elaborate more on this in other videos and writings. Thanks for considering, and aloha.